Good morning, everybody. It's Coola from Raw Stocks here. We're jumping right back on it this week. My goodness, sick this week. Couldn't talk earlier this week in the morning. You can hear still some residual effects, but we're gonna get back at it today. Oh Lord, um, big drop over the market. Really induced by Trump talking about Apple amongst a couple other things. But we saw this weakness kind of happening, kind of transpiring. Something that you need to keep an eye on is that we are now near that daily 200, and we also are into our daily 20 climbing here. So there's some major support here, but we're gonna open from the looks of it on our daily 200. So oh God, I did it again, guys. I had the picture up. So, shout out to our sponsors, Game Edge and Black Box Stocks. Without those guys, would not be able to provide this content to you. And man, so thankful for them. So make sure you use the if you're following along on X, make sure that you are using the links on the post to support those guys. So first things first here today we have Spy's going to be um, very much put dominated here. Gamma condition runs us between 579 and 575. It's a pretty decent sized range, but this was just something that I was kind of watching. I was going to make it a visual yesterday because I was kind of looking for it to target this confirmation into this daily 200, but it did not. I did not put it out there just yet. So let's put this on here. Let's talk about the range. Remove this here. Let's go back to the range. Okay, 579, 575. Let's gear this up for SPY. Okay, it's going to put us right near 579, 575. Okay, so we have a range here for today at 579 to 575. We're clearly right at 75, 575 here. It's below our range. If we do get some type of press below here, I wouldn't be surprised to see it try to run into that 570 range, but I don't think we're going to get much lower than 570. Even though liquidity stands down here, I don't think that's going to be the case. I think this, when we open, we may see another one of those run out the gates, kind of like this here where we dropped and then we saw it kind of push up. I think we could see that try to run back up today, but today is very much predominated. So don't get caught in that. Right, there's a lot of shorts into the market, but we'll see how it responds at open. Let's take a look at SPX here. So that's kind of what we're looking at. Looking at the swipe here, looking at this potentially looking to try to come back up. But we're looking maybe containment here, right? Just sitting in here. Pull up SPX, see if it's showing anything on Confluence. VIX is spiking currently. So 5,900 to 5,875, so very far away. Virtually showing us the pretty good size short here at 5,875, um, and go as low as 5,800. So short here. This might have been some kind of condor or something like that, but it is not. As of right now, your range is 5,900 to 5,875. So we're far away from that. It looks like dealers were not positioned in SPX plays, but they were in SPY. So interesting to see that draw, that range is back up here. I've talked about this in the past where this can be like a magnet, okay? When the options range is up here, so it can be two different things. It can be pulled in to that range as like a actual magnet, or you can look at that as a reverse polarity thing, like it is driving price away from that range. And when it's this put dominated and you have targets down here, generally that is a push. It's like a reverse polarity. But even on our target to the downside, we're at it, right? We're literally somewhere right around here on SPX, right? 5780. So watch that 5800 retest. If we do recapture that, I do think that there's some type of move up that we could see. Maybe get outside of that spire range that we're kind of looking at here. So get above that, get pressed into 580. If we do see that, I think we can likely squeeze into yesterday's close. I don't think there's any question about that. If we take a look at trend bucks, we're going to see that right virtually at yesterday's um, virtually at yesterday's low right now of VIX expectations. So um, with VIX being right now spiked to 2468. So let me do some calculations here. Let me do the calculations. I just realized I had that muted on Discord. 2468. 1.5% here. You're looking at, if we open here, I mean, as low as 564 and as high as the open, 583. So that'll be our range today based on VIX. We're going to see if that's going to be the case or not, where we see some type of recovery. I think a lot of times when we see a big sell down like this, generally speaking, it's either a full-blown reversal or we see some type of consolidation here. Those generally what we see. So not super concerned one way or another here on SPY. I don't think it's going to go very much lower. I think if anything, you're looking for a one day plus expiration for some type of recovery. Let's take a look at NVIDIA here. Let me pull this across this one. Into that 130 range here. This is a interesting area here. Very interesting area on NVIDIA because let me pull this data. 130 is your pool as far as the negative gex here. 132 to 130. This is your demand. Let's check the range. 132 to 130. This range has shrank. And we're starting to see it press below 130 here. We're going to see if this gets any type of continuation. Outside this range, guys, we talked about this. Outside of these ranges, we can see some type of level of capitulation. And if that is the case, then we could really see this start to slide. But as of right now, data just shows some type of containment level here at 130. A decent amount of shorts, but a decent amount of longs too. So let's look at some time frames here that we're looking at. 126 on the daily 200 here if it wants to retest. I think, like I said, if cracking out below the 130 here draws any type of sell, I think that 126 area where the daily 200 is probably going to be the most likely for you as far as some type of downside. But I'm not super sold on this down move. I think this was just exhaustion and obviously a little bit of macro that's coming into here. Let's take a look at Tesla real quick. Tesla, I talked about 330 before any type of move up. I'm sure it's actually exceeded the 330 at this point. I haven't looked at it this morning. No, 335. So we talked about this yesterday where there's an expansion. I said 330, which we got yesterday. My bad. 330 yesterday to see if it wanted to expand past this. If we get sold at this again, which we are getting sold, we got to watch Tesla very closely, as I think that the rug on this is extreme. Let's see, 330 here. 330 here, put dominated now, which is a big reversal from where it was. Huge short here at 330. Will this be just the absolute pivot point for it? Yes. 330. So you're watching this area. If we do lose this area, you can see it come down to the likes of 316 or even close the gap towards 300 or 280. That is how important that is how important 330 is. I'm sorry, I got distracted. Serious Rosie or Hot Mike. Expansion over the top of 350 is definitely imminent. But we've got to hold 330. Okay. So as far as today goes, there's wide ranges. Taking a look at Tesla's range one more time because I didn't specify it. 330 to 345. Um, so this is going to shrink, but we're still remaining here at 330. So you're on the low side of this range. You could buy in. You could be looking forward targeting calls towards that 330 area. If it breaks outside this range, you look to move on from that. But this is a pretty good size. When we start talking about risk reward, it's a pretty good size risk versus reward here. And so you could say, hey, I'm getting along near that 330 area, 331 area, and looking forward to target the top side of the range. This is where you start seeing RVRs in that 4 to 5 plus range. When you start targeting these lows here, give it a little bit of room and see if it wants to target to the upside and give it back to that range. Or if you do catch that expansion, that's really when this risk versus reward really starts to pop, right? So, okay, guys, that's going to be it for today. If you're interested in what we're doing, you need to take a look at the bio. Take a look at the bio. There's a link in here to join the Discord. Need to update that image there. To join the Discord. Everybody, next week's going to be a little bit different. We're going to figure it out. We have a whole bunch of analysts trying to figure out how we're going to cover content. And I'm sorry I'm a little bit rusty today, guys, as you know, I'm just recovering back from having that strep throat. I think this is going to be a huge content channel moving forward, and I look forward to working with you all. So thanks, guys.